Good afternoon. My name is William McKissock with Schooley Mitchell, your expense reduction specialist. And today I have with me Bridgette Bello, who is the CEO and publisher with the Tampa Bay Business and Wealth magazine, a fantastic economic driver servicing businesses across the Tampa Bay region. The Tampa Bay Business and Wealth magazine delivers in-depth reporting, helps local businesses create deals, growing technology, and is a great resource for the area. So welcome, Bridgette, and for coming onto the show, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, William.
So I have a few questions I want to ask you because I want people viewing this to understand who you are and more about the magazine and how it helps within the economy of the Tampa Bay region. So first of all, tell me about you and why are you in this industry?
You know, it's a funny story. I've actually been a First Amendment junkie since I was a little girl. When I was in elementary school, I wrote a story for a creative writing class that one of my parents' clients used as their TV commercial. And that was kind of the beginning of my writing career, quote unquote. But I knew from a very early age that this is what I wanted to do, and there was never any deviation from that. I went to school for journalism. My first job was at a daily newspaper. My second job was on air as a newscaster at a radio station. And it's in my blood. I'm a First Amendment junkie through and through. I would be remiss to say that I'm not disappointed in today's media and what we can expect from them. It is not what I signed up for. You know, we were truth seekers and wanted to hold people accountable and looking for fair and balanced stories. And that's not what we're getting from today's media. But I think we'll come back. So I'm optimistic that we'll get back there.
Yeah, I mean, as a sidelines person looking at today's media, there's a lot of sensationalism. It's all driven by that and politics, etc. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Good old news reporting where people just report the truth. So, well, anyway, we can see you're clearly passionate and you really know what you're doing in relation to all of this. So what is the Tampa Bay Business and Wealth magazine? Tell me a little bit more about the magazine, what it does, and what is its reach, and where do you project the magazine to?
So that is my favorite topic. Tampa Bay Business and Wealth magazine is a CEO decision maker centric publication. Everything that we do is centered on the C-suite. Our distribution is controlled circulation is how it's referred to. So we know exactly who gets the magazine every month. We do have people who pay to subscribe, but if you reach out and say, how do I subscribe to the magazine? I say, what's your title? And when you say CEO, we don't make you pay to subscribe because we're very focused on delivering that audience to our partners and our sponsors and our advertisers. So it's 15,000 decision makers. They're running companies that are $3 million or more in revenue. And they're in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk, Sarasota, or Manatee. So very regional, very targeted, very niche. And everything that we do is aimed into that C-suite. The content that we deliver is content that they want to read. The events that we do are events that they want to attend. And the digital that we do is things that they opt in for and that they want to be a part of. So it's been an amazing 2 years, and that audience has let us know how engaged they are and how much they love what we're doing. And we're going to keep doing it.
So you've possibly answered some of my next question, but if you can go into a little bit more depth about what makes your publication stand out from the crowd, from the other magazines in your space.
So my favorite part of what we've been doing, I'm having trouble with this earbud, so I'm just going to hold it. My favorite part has been when they feed back to us your economic development for this region. You are the one telling the stories that nobody's telling. You guys are the ones that are making it a place that people want to be, right? They also tell us that we're filling a void that they didn't know existed prior to us being here. We knew it existed, but the CEOs didn't know it existed. And if you look at major markets around the country, most of them have a business and lifestyle kind of hybrid publication. We didn't have anything like that. And so what stands us apart is who our audience is, but also that there is no such thing as just running a full page ad in TBBW. If you are advertising, you're a part of our events, you're included in our digital, it's really a three-pronged approach, and we make personal introductions and connections, and people actually get business out of their business relationship with us. And we hear that all the time. It's something we're really proud of.
Yeah, well, it's all about connecting, isn't it? And you're doing it in a bigger way. In relation to COVID, the COVID situation, how's it affecting your industry and the businesses that you just talked about that are using you as a vehicle? How's it affecting both of those areas?
Yeah, so we've been, I keep saying blessed is the best way to describe it. The large majority of the industries that we deal with from a customer perspective are banks, accounting firms, law firms, wealth management firms, and they're all very much needed by their clients right now, right? And so it's either staying in front of their clients or potentially being in front of the clients of somebody else that isn't happy right now.
Yeah.
So we have weathered the storm well, for lack of a better way to put it. Not without bumps and bruises and not without feeling some of the effects. I don't want to say that, it's business as usual. It's not business as usual. And our clients aren't experiencing business as usual. And so we feel that too. But better probably than most media. Most of our partnerships have said, hey, we get it. You're going to do events again. And when you do, we'll be there, and so they haven't canceled. They've moved with us. We had a couple of advertisers say, can we put it on hold for a month or two? Of course, but the industry as a whole, I can tell just by looking, isn't as blessed as we are. And so we thank whatever for that every day and are appreciative and feel blessed for that every day.
Well, I think that obviously there's a lot of trust and faith being invested in you from the businesses, but as you say, you're obviously doing something right. The fact that businesses will say, okay, we can hold back for a couple of months, we're still with you. We know it's difficult for everybody, so it's fantastic. And again, I can see the passion. You really know your stuff. So as a kind of final thought, tell me some success stories for the magazine in particular, just kind of as a broad sense, but also during these testing times.
So it's interesting. We have turned the word pivot into a drinking game in our office. Anytime somebody says that everybody drinks, whether it's water or wine or Diet Coke or whatever it is, we were pretty early adopters to the pivot, and I won't take credit for that. Sandler Training has been a partner of mine for me and my sales teams for the last 30 years. And we were on a webinar with them relatively early on, and they said, figure out a way to remain relevant for your clients, right? And our clients are not just our advertisers and our sponsors. Our clients are also our audience and the people who read the magazine and the people who have come accustomed over the last 2 years to us delivering great content. And so we were probably one of the first ones. Actually, I can confidently say we were one of the first ones to do a virtual event. We are known now as the Zoom experts. We have a lot of people ask us if we'll run their Zoom events and do their virtual events. And, it was all about finding that really topical, really relevant, really important content early on. And so one of the first ones was on cybersecurity, because everybody was working from home. And it's like, what happens to your security in that, type of organization? And one of the next ones was the Paycheck Protection Program. We had that on 4 days after the portal opened. So we were way out in front of anybody else having that conversation. We had one on best practices for returning to the workplace and what you should be doing if you're an employer. We had one on supporting your furloughed and laid off employees as an employer, and so all, again, still targeted into that C-suite, that amazing audience that we're so proud to cater to. And at the same time, providing subject matter experts and relevant content that made sense for them to want to be a part of a really difficult and interesting time. So we've gotten some new business out of that. It was a lower entry point, right? So we didn't have the food and beverage costs. We didn't have the venue costs. Our costs were really just our time. And so brand new business came out of that. We've also had a couple of new advertisers come out of the woodwork in the last 30 to 60 days. Some really smart people who said, you know what, business is going to come back. And when it does, those of us who were out there are going to be the ones to benefit. Those of us who are still hiding under our desks in the fetal position are not. and they're right about that. So we had an office furniture dealer, that CI group, that said, you know what, I need to be out there. People are going to have to change their office environments, and I need them to think of me first.
Yeah.
So a lot of really wonderful success stories. I mean, again, we know businesses are hurting. We're doing everything we can from a hospitality perspective. We ran an entire section on staycations and supporting your local hotels and local restaurants, and things that you can do just getting in your car and not getting on a plane, which nobody's doing anyway. And giving back to our nonprofits. I mean, we run their banners in our digital product for no charge every single time we send it out, which is a minimum of twice a week. So just whatever we can do to give back and, you know, go back to that original mission of economic development and making this region the place that everybody wants to live and everyone wants to do business.
Yeah, no, well, thank you. That was a very clear and concise answer. And I can empathize personally with trying to be a little bit different, because with Schooley Mitchell, we like to market other businesses. We try and do that in any way, as well as what we do in saving the money. But this is a vehicle that I've chosen with Schooley Mitchell to do this. And as you say, it's something that makes you relevant in the space we are now. But at the same difference, it's a time to try and give back, try and help.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to do by promoting businesses like yourself, and just give it out there, put it out into the universe and do some good stuff. So yeah, no, thank you very much. We're thinking is clearly connected in the same place there, that we want to do things a little bit different and try and help people. So anybody watching this video, Bridget's details are right underneath her video portion of this Zoom call. So please reach out to her if you want to talk about marketing your business and really working with a high quality organization in the Tampa Bay area. So Bridget, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate having you on.
Thanks for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit, and for us to see how we can help each other, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. And now I'll hand it over to Dave for the weather.